to another episode of Investor Insights, a new and dynamic feature where investments meets insights and you, of course, stay informed. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting off your journey, we bring you expert analysis, market trends, and success stories to help you navigate. So, it's time to unlock new opportunities, one conversation at a time. Today, we're trading boardrooms and heading into backroads as we analyze a new market in the industry, and that is ATV touring. Joining us is the director, am I correct, of a leading ATV company in St. Lucia, that is the Eastern Exotic ATV Tours, right here in Dennery. And I'm speaking with Mr. Elius Ford. Elias, I'm so excited I'm extremely excited to just be discussing this niche market. And I think ATV has been something that has become so popular right here in St. Lucia. We have a lot of persons. Yes, it's extremely popular, and I'm so happy that you've agreed. So I'd love to start off with the story behind Eastern Exotic. Where did this idea come from?
Okay, so the story behind Eastern Exotic is quite interesting. Basically, my background is in IT. Now, I'm an IT professional. I do IT for a few companies. One of my main areas of work is in the hotel industry. Since 2007, I've been working with quite a bit of hotels. So I always saw a need for me as an individual to invest in the tourist product. More specifically, something within the Dennery Valley area, because there's nothing tourist related in the Dennery Valley area. ATVs was one of the ideas that sat on my mind for a very long time. I put it up in my vision board. I had it there for a while. And until COVID came about, I realized, you know what? You need to get up and do something about this. So much so, again, COVID, everybody's sort of at home, not doing much. And I saw a friend of mine posted an ATV company. And that was confirmation for me. You know what, Elias? You need to get this off the ground.
That is a truly inspiring story, because to see that you're coming from IT and just heading into ATV because you saw that gap in the valley. So how has business been so far?
Business has been great. If I complain, I would be telling a lie. To be honest, the ideas that I had from paper into reality, business has been tremendous.
Seeing that, the business has grown, it has evolved from just an idea on your vision board and to seeing this reality happening now. What kind of clients do you often have here?
When we started, we explored really the local market. The idea, our ATV idea, as you probably may have seen, is completely different from other ATVs. So I wanted to explore the local market first, see how the local market respond to it. And now that the local market has embraced our tours and the experiences that we offer, we have now started pushing to the international market. And so far, we are doing very well.
Awesome. And how is that deal marketing going? I mean, you're pushing into the international market. What strategies are you using to ensure that you're able to reach those persons?
Okay, so as I said, we started off with the local market. So basically, we use a lot of social media and so on, and seeing the way the local market embraced what we were offering. So then now we reach out to hotels and other touring companies, some DMCs. As of recent, we are also reaching out to the French market as well. And the response is really nice. So for us, it was almost like you heard up the phrase dance yard before you dance abroad. So we did exactly that. We dance yard first, and then we start now pushing our info and everything out there to the international market.
Is the dance yard before you dance abroad? I like that one. And that one takes me into my next question. How is Eastern Exotic helping the local economy? Maybe as it relates to jobs, or what are you doing for the community right here in Dennery Valley?
Okay, so since we started off in March 1st, so far we employ about 4 individuals who benefit directly from our tours, who actually works with the company. For me, this is a win for the community, and all of my employees are from the Dennery Mabea Valley Basin. Second of all, One of our tours is heavily concentrated on the community of the Mabwea Valley. And this tour we're referring to is the Irie Valley Ride. The Irie Valley Ride, I always tell people, it's a community tour. It's a tour that really captures and speaks of the history and the culture of the Mabwea Valley. And so we go to places like the cassava and the farine place, which the locals call it the Kai Platin. This is where they make the cassava and the farine and so on. What we do when we go to those places, apart from patronizing, we actually make a contribution to the Kai Platin. When we go to the Rastafarian community, which is also part of our tour, we also make a financial contribution to the Rastafarian community. Sometimes we do engage the services of the farmers. We also give back to the farmers and so on. We also engage the solo group, again, which is part of the history and the culture of the Mabwea Valley, and also we pay or make a financial contribution to the solo group. So definitely Eastern Exotic is really giving back. Is the financial is not only for the benefit of the company, but it also spills over into the community.
I mean, seeing that you have done so much, I would love to know what are some of the biggest challenges that you face? I mean, as an entrepreneur who has just started off, what are some of your biggest challenges?
Being able to have the right amount of finance, and not just finance, but the right amount of finance, was one of the biggest challenges that I had to face, because of this investment is quite heavy. So that's one of my biggest challenges. The other one was, being able to, even sometimes in your own community, sometimes when you try to do something in your own community, not everybody necessarily see and understands that, even agree with what you're doing. So for example, obviously the ATVs now have a little impact on the road, so you get a little pushback from some of the farmers and so on. I mean, we're making strides to, correct those issues, like, try and fix the roads and so on. But, so these are some of the little challenges. It's not anything that we cannot overcome, but these are some of the little pushbacks that you get and so on and so forth. But it's not anything,
Speaking of those challenges and speaking of the way that you've given back, what is some of the support that you've received from agencies on the island, even in St. Lucia?
I have received some really, really good support from agencies in St. Lucia. From the time I pitched my idea to agencies like Community Tourism Agency, they held my hand and walked with me through this journey. Also, Invest St. Lucia, I did come to Invest St. Lucia. I was asked to bring in my business proposal. And I must say that I got some really good support, especially from persons like Camille, who really attended to me and make sure that some of my requests will, being met. Generally, I can say the agencies have received me very well, and the support is there.
Awesome. And I'm happy that you mentioned that. I mean, there is always that Invest in Lucia, persons like community tourism, there is just important partnership in ensuring that our entrepreneurs or businesses in St. Lucia continue to thrive. It's awesome to see that they have invested in your organization and to see how far you've gone. I'm now looking at how you have been able to have this company in January and to see how it has been evolving. So what do you see is the biggest impact for ATV touring to the tourism sector? What is that contribution?
Eastern Exotic ATV Tours has put the East Coast, more specifically Mabwea Valley, on the map when it comes to the tourist product. And I think that is definitely a win for the Mabwea Valley, Dennery North Basin, because we're able to create a niche where tourists now can come and explore what we have to offer. And I think that is a way. And I think that is a way of creating that significant impact.
Definitely. And I think even speaking of creating that significant impact, I would love to ask the question, how are you guys now ensuring that there is that level of sustainability? Because I know that even with community tourism, the sustainability and ensuring that we have protected the environment, what is your role in ensuring that you do so?
Okay, one of the golden rules that we pitch to every client who comes to do an ATV tour: no littering on the trail. So we try to ensure first and foremost that the environment, the trail, everywhere we head to, is kept clean. I'm not sure if there is too much more that we can do. Obviously, there's always room for improvement. But as for now, I would say these are some of the basic strategies that we have.
And definitely, and I mean, with those small steps, we are impacting the community and ensuring that it remains sustainable. Now I know that before we start on this one here, I noticed some QR codes all around your all around you, the gear and everything. Technology is really becoming something that's big. How do you add that to your Eastern Exotic experience?
Well, as you mentioned, the QR codes and so on, definitely we try to use technology for marketing purposes as much as possible. So the QR code that you mentioned, they are for our TikTok page, our Instagram page, and so on. We also have QR codes for our website and so on. And we do encourage the guests. That's one of the things that we have in our orientation. While we speak to them, even before we head out, we let them know, hey, scan, follow us, like, share, and so on. So, everything now is social media, everything now is technology. So we try to incorporate it as much as possible in that regard when it comes to, Eastern Exotic ATV Tours.
Oh, wonderful. If you had an investor right now who probably saw what you were doing and they wanted an opportunity to partner with you, what would be that one thing that you would say to that person even before they consider doing it right here?
I would tell them that this brand is definitely a growing brand, Eastern Exotic Tours. We've made some serious strides, and the future of this company looks really bright. This is actually one out of 3 steps in terms of my investment. This is just the first phase. There's another 2 phases to go, which I'm not gonna let the cat out of the bag yet. But yeah, we definitely looking to impact the Mabwe Valley even a lot more than we're already doing right now. So in the next 5 years, I definitely see Eastern Exotic ATV Tours impacting the community 5 times more.
Awesome, awesome. And my last question would be moving away from Eastern Exotic. Community tourism has become really a big thing in St. Lucia. What do you see as an entrepreneur who's right here in that sector? Where do you see community tourism going for us in the next 5 years?
I think definitely it's on an upward trajectory. There is so much more in our community to explore. And one of my objectives is to encourage some of the other parties that I engage, for example, like the Furin and the cassava, to better their product. And I think if other sectors like these can see the vision and understand where community tourism is going, and even the steps that we have taken in terms of bringing in tourists to this side of the island, then I definitely see the tourist-related product in Dennery North, Mawia Valley, it's gonna go. Yeah.
Awesome. And I love the positivity because definitely I think community tourism, like you said, it will continue to grow because like you said, St. Lucia has so much to offer. And even within every community, there is always something that's waiting to be discovered. And that might just be the new product that we sell, whether it be locally, regionally, or internationally. Yeah.
I also want to add, the Mabwe Valley is really an untouched area when it comes to the tourist-related product. And there is a lot of history and stories about the Mabwe Valley that has to be told.
Awesome. Thank you so, so much, Mr. Ford. I'm so excited that you had this conversation with me and you've heard it right here. There are so many stories to be told right here in the Mabwe Valley and in so many communities in St. Lucia. And of course, Eastern Exotic Tours is doing everything that it can to narrate that story to persons who are willing to listen and who are willing to take that ride to see for themselves. So here you have it. We are so grateful that you've joined us and join us again for another episode of Investor Insights.